Now, people might think that e-bikes are for the lazy. And although, yeah, sometimes I like to stuff my face in front of the couch every now and then, I still love to ride a bike every now and then. Oh my god, a spider. Now look, I'm not a pro cyclist, but this review isn't meant for a pro cyclist. I mean, if you are one, that's great. You can still get a lot of details on this bike in my review. I'm just not gonna cover the granular specs of the bike or the aerodynamic efficiency of tires or whatever it is that pro cyclists are looking for. So if you're not a pro cyclist, this review is for you. Yeah. You, the average Joe who just loves the outdoors. E-bikes are becoming increasingly popular, and not just because you can run the motor non-stop and not have to pedal. I mean, if you really want to do that, you should probably get a motorcycle. This right here helps you cycle much longer than you actually could without having to sacrifice your physical well-being. There are just some people who just can't get up those hills or need a little break from pedaling. Whew, like me. Let me tell you, this is the perfect machine for that. So as an average cyclist, I'm gonna show you how you can achieve that with the Zeil E-Mountain bike. As beautiful as the scenery is, let's go to the studio. Oh, finally, back in the studio. What's up friends, my name is J.I. and I make videos on the technology in our lives and how we can use it to make our lives easier. Okay, full disclosure, IMGADGETS loved my previous scooter reviews and wanted me to try out their new Zeil e-bike to get my thoughts on it. So I'm going to give you my impartial opinion on the e-bike and what I think could use some improvements. As a casual biker, I found the Zeil Electric Mountain bike a huge step up from what I'm used to. I occasionally go to the mountains, and although my stamina isn't what it used to be, the e-bike will allow me to enjoy a full day without getting completely exhausted. I still get an exceptional workout when using this e-bike because it allows you to pedal and assists you with the installed motor when required. That's the important thing to remember about this e-bike. You can think of it like working out at the gym with a spotter. When you've completely exhausted your reserves and can't find that strength to make that last push, the motor acts as your spotter to give you that extra boost. You can even ride the bike normally without even turning the motor on. Unboxing the Zeil was super easy and it came in a standard well-protected box that didn't require much assembly. The back tire was already installed and we just had to assemble the front tire, kickstand, handlebars, and other easy parts of the bike. I would recommend checking out the YouTube video in my description down below on how to assemble the bike because everything you need to get running is covered. We have a solid kickstand that can be easily screwed onto the bike, and I found that it was able to hold the bike up in any terrain. There's a clasp for the handlebar that needed to be loosened, and positioning the handlebars and screwing the clasp back on was fairly simple. I would recommend doing the handlebar and light before putting on the front wheel to make it easier for you. The pedals only took me about a few minutes to install with the included hardware. I love that the seat can easily be adjusted without having to use any additional hardware. There's a lever that allows you to make quick and easy adjustments. Speaking of adjustments, you'll need to ensure that the handlebars are centered with the bike itself. Adding the front wheel required 2 people, so if you have someone to give you a hand, honestly, just take it. It'll make your life a lot easier. Finally, adding the front headlight and also the rear reflector took minimal effort, and after assembly, everything was ready to go. Okay, so 2 things that I really appreciate the company including in the box that help with security is a free GPS tracker similar to an AirTag that is compatible with Apple Find My, and also a set of keys which allow you to lock and unlock the removable battery. This also means that the battery can be swapped out if you have more than one to give you that extended battery life. Design-wise, this bike is beautifully crafted. It has a lightweight aluminum alloy frame. The bike in total weighs about 53 pounds or 25 kg, which makes it very easy to carry or mount to a wall. Although it doesn't weigh much, don't let that fool you. It's incredibly sturdy, and you can tell that the company really focused on the most important aspect of the bike, the tires. We have 27.5-inch fat tires, which is designed to handle any type of terrain you throw at it. And I'm not kidding, like the 3-inch wide tread along with the front shocks provide incredible shock absorption. You can pretty much take this bike in snow, sand, gravel, and even the rockiest terrain. The overall design of the bike keeps comfort and functionality in mind. I'm about 6 feet and 170 pounds, and I can tell you that this was perfect for my size. I was able to adjust the seat to my liking and had no issues with riding the bike for long periods of time. The bike is meant for people who are about 5 to 7 feet in height and can handle a max load of 265 pounds. I also had a couple of friends try the bike, and each person with different heights and weights were able to comfortably use the bike without any issues. The seat is adjustable between 33.3 inches to 39.4 inches. We have a set of amazing shocks on the front and a Shimano 7-speed gear that is easily adjustable using the lever on the gear selector. There are also front and rear mechanical dual disc brakes that are very responsive using the 2 brake levers on the handlebar itself. It's very easily accessible from the handlebars, something I was initially concerned about. I did find the brakes will make a light rubbing sound when you first initially ride the bike out of the box. That is because you're breaking them in. Thank you, thank you. Oh, hold your applause, thank you, thank you. And you'll need a couple of rides until that noise dampens or is completely gone. The handlebar has everything you need to operate the bike, including the brakes and a gorgeous LED screen that gives you all of the information regarding your ride. You also have the keypad to turn on the electric function of the bike, change the motor speed, activate the headlight, and view any additional settings you may have. The display is very easy to read in sunlight and gives you speed, mileage, the different modes, fault alerts, and of course the battery capacity. I do wish there was an electric horn like on my gyrocopter scooter, but we have a standard bell here, which should suffice for most people. Accelerating using the motor is quite easy. Once you start pedaling, you can move the accelerator forward to start picking up speed. You don't really have to hold it down here, as it will automatically gain momentum and slow down as you hit the brakes. And you can really feel the motor kick in and assist you when you ride. It's honestly quite exhilarating. I love the USB output addition that the company put on the keypad, which is great if you need to juice up your phone while you're on a quick ride. However, I wish there was an additional phone holder or hook for hanging a bag. This can easily be rectified by purchasing something on Amazon or a third-party website, which I might do down the road. So not a big deal that it's not included, but for that price, it would have been nice. I believe we also have areas for additional accessories like a bike storage rack that you can attach on the back. I have taken this bike on all sorts of trips since getting it, including a mountain adventure. I've been nothing but impressed with the way it was able to handle these situations. My neighborhood has some rocky terrain, but riding on the bike, I could barely feel any major bumps. The seat itself is very plush and easy to sit on for long periods of time. It's very easy to make adjustments to the height of the seat. However, you cannot adjust the height of the handlebars, so keep that in mind. Although for me, being as tall as I am, I found no issues with the position of the handlebars, and I can easily adjust the seat to my liking. So this is what sets this bike apart from every other traditional bike that you've owned. The 500-watt motor that powers the bike when you need a little bit of a boost. This motor is so smooth and kicks in when you start pedaling, but you can even run the motor completely standalone so you don't have to pedal at all. I prefer using it as an assisted pedal option, and by doing that, you can get almost 100 kilometers of range on this bike. Although the Shimano 7-speed gear allows you to adapt to any terrain, sometimes you just need that assistance from the motor. You can either run pure electric mode, which will give you roughly 50 kilometers of range, pedal assist mode, which can give you around 91 kilometers of range. I actually found myself getting upwards of 100 kilometers in this mode. And of course, normal riding mode, which allows you to just ride manually, like a regular bike. This e-bike features a cadence sensor that aids the rider. The fundamental cadence sensor utilizes a magnet on the crank, activating the motor when pedaling begins and deactivating it when pedaling ceases. I found this activated very easily after you start pedaling, and it gives you the momentum to reach your chosen speed level. I find using this bike is amazing for uphill climbing, as the motor can reach a peak power of 826 watts and is great for hills of around 30 degrees of incline. There are 3 speed modes which you can select using the plus and the minus buttons on the left-hand side keypad. I find setting 1 is great for giving you a small boost and keeps your speed at a minimum. If you want increased power and speed, you can use settings 2 and 3. Setting 3 made me fly almost at around 35 kilometers an hour, and I was in gear 7, so I was still getting a hefty workout. You can choose your preferred level for the motor to help you based on your liking, and if you just need some extra help up tough inclines. Charging the 10 amp hour battery from empty to full is actually not bad. We need a full 5 hours to charge it from empty, but I find plugging it in for about an hour will give you plenty of juice to do about 50 to 60 kilometers of range. I've barely had a chance to drain this bike completely, as it lasted every trip I've been on, so for testing purposes mainly, I've been running the bike quite a bit. I've been letting friends use it for a while, just to kind of run down the battery and see how much I can get out of it. And I gotta say, I've been thoroughly impressed. I can safely say that charging is not gonna be a big deal for you when you get this bike. During most of my trips, I found the battery was about 30 to 40% after each, and I would say I traveled about 50 to 60 kilometers in total. The company claims you can get a full 91 kilometers of range using pedal assist, and I can see getting that plus a little bit more. Safety-wise, IMGADGETS have done everything to ensure that this is the safest option while riding and also when storing. Now we have UL 2849 approved certification, which essentially means the bike was approved for Canadian and US safety standards when it comes to the brakes, the battery system, electrical components, mechanical components, and structural integrity. So you know you're getting a quality e-bike here. The battery management system also helps protect the battery from overload, short circuiting, overcurrent, over and under voltage, overheating, and is also encased with fireproofing material. I've no issue storing this bike in my garage or shed, knowing it won't cause any major damage. You hear horror stories of things happening with e-bike batteries, and these added safety measures just put my mind at ease. Not only that, but we also have the ability to lock the bike with any heavy-duty bike lock and also use the included key to remove the battery when it's not in use. As mentioned previously, we have the Find My compatible tracker, which can easily be placed under the seat of your bike. I've been incredibly impressed with this bike, and it serves as a normal mountain bike with the bonus option to get a motorized boost when needed. So if you think about it that way, I think it's totally worth the money. I don't know why anyone would get a regular bike when they can just have the best of both worlds. But again, I'm just a guy who likes to bike occasionally, and if you're anything but a pro, you might want to consider this well-rounded option. Price-wise, it isn't too expensive. I've seen sales where it goes just under $1,000 and usually hovers around that $1,100 range, and this is Canadian dollars, mind you. You can get it right from IMGADGETS website or even Amazon. I've included some links down in the description below and some great coupons to help you save on both sites as well. Go ahead and drop a comment down below. Let me know, are you looking for an e-bike or are you more of a traditional bike person? And why is that? I'm actually genuinely curious. But until then, my name is J.I. Thank you for watching and thank you for kicking it with me.